Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, May the 21st, and welcome to our video commentary. I don't know if some of you are having the same impact or having the same effect. I just saw a poll that says that Americans are exhausted with the Russian investigation. And I kind of feel the same way. It's like, when is this thing going to end? What exactly is the objective? And how much longer are we going to be investigating? I mean, we've only been looking at it for a year, actually longer than that, if you consider that it was actually going on before Mr. Mueller came in. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the Russia investigation, it had something to do, allegations of collusion between the Russian government and the Trump campaign in 2016. I never bought into that for one very simple reason, and that is that it's very difficult for a foreign country to impact U.S. elections, because one of the beauties of the U.S. electoral system is that we actually vote in 50 different states, and every state has its own computer. They count its own votes. So you would have to basically take over 50 states, which is, again, very difficult to do in a country like the United States. So I never bought into this idea that the Russians had had any consequential impact. They may have tried to do here or try to do that there. But at the end of the day, it didn't change anything at all about the election. It certainly had nothing to do with Donald Trump winning or Hillary Clinton losing. I think that was just a big fantasy being promoted by some of the Clinton supporters. But I did have one interest. One of the reasons why I was interested in the Russia investigation is because I felt it would be good to learn what the Russians were up to, particularly in the areas of technology and the internet, and some of the techniques they were using, not so much because they would impact a U.S. election, but it could be information, let's say, we could share with some of our allies, because the Russians obviously are just as interested in influencing, for example, the election in Mexico or the election coming up in Colombia or elections in other countries. They would probably have more consequence or perhaps a greater impact in those other countries than they could here. So that was the reason that I was interested. But this whole scandal thing, this whole investigation has gone off in all kinds of different directions. And I certainly understand why people are fed up with it and they're exhausted, because it's like, what are we investigating? What exactly is the end game? And how much longer are we going to be investigating? Now, the latest information is bizarre, that the FBI had apparently put someone in the Trump campaign, and because they feared Russian collusion. Well, why didn't they put somebody in the Clinton campaign? It would make a lot more sense to me if the FBI was concerned about Russia collusion, if they had put somebody, one person in each campaign to cover themselves. Why is it that they chose the Trump campaign? Who approved it? On what grounds? What was the information? Now, this is apparently going to be investigated now. The Attorney General, the Assistant Attorney General, has apparently decided to take up that case. I just think that, this whole thing has gotten totally out of control. And what may have started out as an investigation of Russia collusion has now turned into something that, frankly, I don't even think Mr. Mueller understands what exactly he's doing anymore. So that's why I think frankly, what I think we need to do is we need to shut this investigation down and turn over whatever information they have either to the Congress and say to the congressional committees, look, this is what we believe happened. This is the information we have. And let the Congress, through its jurisdiction and through investigative powers, let the Congress deal with this and turn it over to the Congress. Maybe some of the work can be done in justice. But we have now reached the point where this whole investigation, every day there's a new story. Every day there's a new allegation. Every day we hear that Mueller is here investigating this. Yesterday he was investigating this. Every day there's a leak in the media. It's gotten completely crazy, and I certainly can appreciate why a lot of Americans are saying enough is enough. We're exhausted with this. It's also, and this is perhaps the most interesting point, it's become very counterproductive for the Democrats. I think a lot of Democrats got this thing started with Russia. They just wanted to bother Trump. I mean, they kind of wanted to be a nuisance for Trump so he would be distracted. But I think this has now become counterproductive. More and more Democrats are saying this is not helping us. There was a report that we talked about a few weeks ago where Democrats in the center of the country were saying, stop talking about Russia because nobody cares about Russia. So I think this is now becoming counterproductive. And it's actually stepping in the way of Democrats who are hoping to turn the midterm elections into actually some issues like health care and all of that. They can't talk about it because so much of their base seems to be obsessed with impeaching President Trump. So I think for the sake of everybody, this thing should stop. Let the Congress deal with it. The media, of course, can go on doing whatever they want to do. But I think Mr. Mueller and his investigation should stop. And we definitely need to get to the bottom of who approved putting an FBI person in the Trump campaign. That is really scary when the FBI is used in that fashion. Well, have a great day, everybody. We have all of these in YouTube. We have them in Twitter. And we have them in my blog. And if you have a birthday today, happy birthday. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.